Heat Kings game last night was a pretty fun game overall. Just no Jimmy Butler. Obviously, back and forth all the way through, like a ton of lead changes in general. Kyle Lowry played really well. You had a good version of Bam. You had Tyler come alive in the fourth quarter, which I'm going to show. But I just want to go through, just take like a walkthrough of the Heat's late game offense, basically, because I think they executed it pretty well. And obviously, last year, we had a lot of discussions about this exact late game offense. So it was kind of the issue a lot of times with this group that they couldn't really close out games. And obviously, without Jimmy Butler, they were still able to execute well. So I'm just going to go through some of the offensive possessions that we saw in a tight game. I'll note that with about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they were down 7 and they were able to fight back. So a lot of this was just kind of scraping away in just general, just trying to get back into this game, which obviously they did. So first play, we're going to see Tyler Herro basically running like a double drag. He just entered the game just slightly before, which it was clear they needed to get him in the game, even though he wasn't great in the quarters prior. Like he was still struggling a little bit. They needed a shot creator like Tyler Herro in the game. And obviously that proved to be true late in the game. But seeing right here, just a quick double drag, trying to see if they can get the mismatch to change off Davion Mitchell, who's obviously a pretty great on-ball defender. Turns into like a pick and roll. Bam, he reverses it, doesn't take the screen. He gets into the mid-range, takes just a tough leaner, little fadeaway and hits it. This reason I show this is not really X and O's wise, but it was like this was the shot that got him into a rhythm in this game. Like that shot right there was like, okay, now he's finding himself in his spots in the middle, in the kind of that mid-range area. Now let's see where he can go with that. So now the next play, similar thing. We're going to see Kyle running this. Tyler's going to get the ball in an entry pass. It's going to turn around. Same thing, like a double drag type, trying to see if they can force a different mismatch. Same thing, doesn't get it. Like he doesn't even really take the screens. Now it turns into a Tyler Bam pick and roll yet again. But now this time, he's kind of adjusting and doing different things because instead of reversing it and kind of refusing the screen, he takes it and now he can play against drop because now Sabonis is going to be dropping back. He gets into the mid-range in a different fashion, still the type of fadeaway leaner, but a much cleaner look, and he hits it. Now you can see that he's getting into a rhythm, and now you feel more comfortable about your offense. Now, shifting a little bit, now you're going to see Bam bring it down the floor. Once again, 3 minutes left, little handoff to Kyle. The reason I'm showing this one is I go back to just show it in real time. This is out of a timeout. Like this is a pretty crucial possession, even though it's 3 minutes left. And we know there was back and forth. They just came out of a timeout, and this is the play they drew up. And it was pretty a great play because you want Bam to get in on the roll, get into a rhythm late in the game because you need him involved to be good late in games, even if he's not the one actually hitting the shot. So right here, as I show it again, it's just a Bam Kyle handoff. And the reason I show this is because, let me zoom out a little bit. You're going to see, obviously, Tyler's in this bottom corner, even though you can't see it. And you're going to see on the opposite side, it's Strus in the corner, and it's Gabe Vincent in the dunker spot. Why is that important? Why is that good spacing? Well, Gabe Vincent in the dunker spot means that Gabe Vincent's defender is the one that's going to be helping off a tag on Bam as a roller. What does that mean? You do not want the smallest guy on the court tagging Bam Adebayo. So now he gets it, once again, in the middle of the floor, lead pass by Kyle, a great play. Now it's Bam versus somebody that he definitely wants that matchup, and Malik Monk ends up getting the lay-in. Shortly after, another important aspect of this, their late game offense in general, you can't get away from your base at all. Like, you just can't do that. And it felt like a lot last season they did in the regular season. Part of their base, and obviously in a game without Jimmy Butler even more so, Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo pick and rolls have to be a part of the fourth quarter offense. It's a part of the first 3 quarters, and I've seen early in this season they go to Kyle, Bam pick and rolls a ton and not really lean into this. Well, they were leaning into it right here last night. So as I go into this little empty corner pick and roll, now they're trying to defend it. He reverses it back to Kyle, back over to Max. You're going to see it. This is now getting late in the shot clock. It looks like it's going to be kind of a chuck-up shot possession. The other part of this is I go back and I say that they have to have their base in the fourth quarter. They also have to have their movement because a lot of times as well, they get an isolation ball, and that's just not going to work for this specific group because they don't have just elite isolation players, even though Jimmy and Tyler both hit big shots in back-to-back games. But Gabe's going to look like he's going to screen over to kind of get Max a shot on that right wing, but you're going to see him make an instinctive cut. Bam reads it, hits Gabe. That's just a great pass overall. And now they got, generating decent offense. Another play right here. Kyle, 1:47 left, getting 2 feet in the paint. This is all the biggest thing probably from last night from Kyle Lowry. Yes, he had 17, I think, in the first 15 minutes of game time. You just have to have this when you're without Jimmy Butler. Even if you don't see Jimmy in the box score doing things, he's getting 2 feet in the paint most possessions when he has the ball in his hands. And that's what creates the gravity, and that's what creates the open shots on the outside. Kyle creating this now, looks at Tyler, moves that defender. Max ends up hitting a crucial bucket. But as much as I want to give credit to Max there for hitting that shot, Kyle really just stands out for the fact that he's getting 2 feet in the paint in this game and just creating offense that I didn't think they could create without Jimmy. Another possession right here, bam, trying to bring the ball out, gets it to Tyler. They run a little side pick and roll once again. But Tyler reads it and knows that they know Bam, Miami's trying to get Bam on the roll as active as possible. So now he's backing up. That's where Tyler has him. He gets into that little scoop. Now we're under a minute to go. Davion Mitchell on the other end gets a quick lay-in. They're right back in the offensive side of the ball in a close game. This is just Kyle doing Kyle things that we've known from the past in his Toronto days and all of this. He loves this little turnaround midi, and especially against bigger defenders that are slower, he can get this off. And right here, turns around, gets that nice little shot over the top, and he hits it. Now, a lot of talking, a lot of rambling about plays over and over, but this is obviously the one that everybody cares about. It's the Tyler Herro shot at the end of the game. I know you've probably seen it already. But the thing that stands out more than anything is the same exact thing that they did last night or the night before against the Warriors with Jimmy Butler. They got him into a spot in the mid-range. Yes, he gave a pump fake and he gave a little leaner shot that win the game, which exactly what Tyler Herro did. So I'm just going to show this play in real time first. Gets to his spot, kind of like Jimmy did, but just in a different spot. Leans, hits a tough bucket in general, and ends up winning the game. But the part that it's more like with this game winner compared to Jimmy, other than the fact that he's doing a leaner and a pump fake, is that Gabe Vincent came to screen. The difference is in the game with Jimmy, they just kind of scrambled, switched, and he got to his spot and hit the jumper. This time, they got the matchup they wanted. Like, they gave up this switch. Davion Mitchell gave it up. Now, this is the defender you want on Tyler. You don't want Davion Mitchell on him. Now it's like, okay, Tyler, go to work now. And he gets to his spot against the defender he wanted. Like I said before, pump fakes, leans, hits it. The underrated part, like I just said, is that screen, that inverted pick and roll type to get the matchup they wanted, just like they did the night before. It can't go under the radar. And I just think Miami's process in this fourth quarter was really drawn up well in this game.